Hello and welcome in to another edition of The Big O Show, starring Orestes Destrade. You've seen him on Baseball Tonight. You've seen him on Rays pre- and post-game. You've seen him at the club. You've seen him in his Miami gear. And now he's sad.
I'm not that sad. I'm not that sad. Listen.
Your Hurricanes lost?
My Hurricanes lost. It was a win-win for me anyway, because if Fernando did what he was, was slated to do, and he did. Miami Christopher Columbus High School was well represented.
Yes, it was.
Man, was it. And listen, just to encapsulate that game, welcome everybody. I hope everybody's tranquil and tropical. But I thought that was an execution of perfect coaching, and we're going to talk about that later before we get into all that, but how it applies to all sports, including the Rays. But I was happy, because listen, the production crew, the director and the producer did a great job of panning properly on his family, especially his mom.
A lot of cutaways.
A lot of cutaways to his mom. When in this era of cutaways to Taylor Swift all the time, nice to cut away to this great family. Me being a Cuban American, born in Cuba, raised in Miami, and proud American. This is a family that it's a great story of perseverance. You've got a mom that is very, very ill, with MS, wheelchair bound. I just thought that, kudos to the guy. You applaud it. I did want the Canes to win, but we'll talk a little bit of the semantics of the game and kind of how that circles all the way back to our Rays, even our Bucks.
Yeah.
But all sports. But all in all, what I was happy about, that it wasn't a blowout.
Oh, what a game.
It was a hell of a
historic game.
It was a wonderful game. It really was. So
you couldn't lose because obviously Fernando went to Christopher Columbus. To Christopher Columbus High.
Yeah.
2 blocks from the University of Miami campus.
Correct.
Where he grew up. His dad played with Mario Cristobal.
Yes, played in the offensive line with
he won a state championship at Christopher Columbus.
Correct. Well, his dad and his brother won a state championship too. Albert
Miami didn't want him.
Miami offered him though.
Walk-on.
They offered him a walk-on. Yeah. But I'm talking about when he went to Cal, I thought there was an opportunity to bring him back before he jumped to IU.
They didn't want him as bad as they wanted Carson Beck.
That's the thing.
They'd rather have that guy that hangs out with the OnlyFans models in his Lamborghini sending scandalous messages on his Snapchat.
Yeah.
As opposed to my man Fernando, who's over here on LinkedIn. That's the only social media he has, LinkedIn. He ain't on OnlyFans. He's on LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn.
Yeah, he's not on Tinder. He's not doing Bumble.
The good guys won.
The good guys.
That's what happens if residue comes back. You fourth down it. You bounce ping pong into the end zone, diving into the end zone. Spectacular play, fourth down.
I mean, that was a Josh Allen play if you've ever seen one,
Yeah, iconic moment.
It was. And on top of that, oh, by the way, let's not forget, he was a Heisman Trophy winner.
That's right.
That's right. Damn. So
the Lord is shining on the good people today.
It's America. We have hope that the good can overcome, quote unquote, Michael Irvin and Uncle Luke.
By the way,
Uncle Luke
all said, those guys you can choose to go out to midfield as a captain, and we got to go with
Miguelito.
I got Ray Lewis. I got Ed Reed in his big hat. I'm going with Michael.
I got Taylor.
Lots to choose from.
I mean, he's a coach, but still.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll leave that at that, but we'll dissect a little bit of that.
Christopher Columbus is a winner.
Christopher Columbus is a dramatic winner. I don't. The people that don't know about Christopher Columbus, and again, I'll just wax profusely for a minute.
Their alma mater.
It's my alma mater. It's a kind of a shifting type of school for the city of Miami. By that I mean that the alumni that have come out of there have been not only athletes but incredible businessmen that have lifted up the city of South Florida and Miami, but also nationwide, if dare I say worldwide, that has come out of there. So they prepare young men very, very, very well. It's kind of, comparable to what Tampa Jesuit is over here. It's an all-boy Catholic school. And put the Catholic part aside from it. It's just the preparatory part that they do is phenomenal. I would put Christopher Columbus in the likes of Miami High, the glorious high schools of the Miami area. They're right up there, man. Then listen, the storyline is phenomenal. The storyline of his father playing with Mario Cristobal and Alex Mirabal, the other coach. 7 players, or let's say 5 players, 3 on the UM side, 2 on the IU side, went to Columbus. We were well represented in that game.
The pregame show had a beautiful vignette on the school as well.
Yeah,
that place looks amazing.
Well, one of the biggest donators of the school is a friend of mine, Jorge Mas, who is the guy behind Beckham and partner with Beckham and Inter Miami. So, and a guy that I know well and was very close. Should have had the Miami the Marlins deal, but that fell apart, and he turned his sights to soccer, and look where they're at.
Big mistake.
It was a huge
big mistake. Major League
Baseball. We could have a whole podcast on that. But,
let's do it.
And one day we will.
Yeah.
But Jorge Mas is, it's like Richard Gonsmart would be the comparison here, and what Richard has done in the community here and his family for decades, and what he's given back not only to Jesuit but to the Tampa Bay community. So these are powerful alumni that have done right, and how that is, being from FSU and the powers that the alumni have over there, and where they've gone, graduates of FSU. You know what I mean? We can think of some other major schools, Florida, obviously. Yeah. USF now is putting out, very important men and women that are representing not only their schools, but our country. So those are important people. And that goes to show you, again, and without getting either side of the politics, how important education and preparation is to our youth, and what they can then, bring forth to our communities and our lives. And these schools are doing that. So I applaud Columbus, and I'm proud. Our moniker for decades has been Adelante. So whenever you run into a Columbus guy or you see it in the post, they'll put hashtag Adelante.
What's that mean?
Adelante means move forward, go forward. Like andale. Adelante is go forward, go forth. And he definitely went forth with that play.
Oh, yes, he did.
4th and 5.
Yes, he did.
And, it just goes to show you, maybe we just get into it, how the difference of coaching, proper execution, proper coaching, proper focus. If you look at Miami, if there was a couple of key integral plays, one in particular was the tight end, Alex Bauman, senior tight end. I think he came from Tulane, number 87, just doesn't block, Kamara coming in from the right. And I'm like,
on the block punt,
on the block punt in the third quarter. That was the epitome of the difference in the game, and the difference of execution, of
details,
focus, and coaching.
Details. You don't push out far enough on the edge.
Well, you didn't even chip them much.
And your punter comes too far out to the right.
To the right, always.
Small details.
So you know that.
But it cost you the game.
It totally cost you the game. If you look at that, it's almost like in a baseball game where you make that one play and you lose 5-4, or even worse, 2-1, because this is more like a 2-1 game, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's like one of those 2-1 games that if you just do not execute that one major play because of lack of focus, lack of preparation, lack of coaching, and remindering and doing all of that, that makes a difference. Think about it. And again, you can't go into hypotheticals because they would have punted there. Hypothetically, he blocks him like he should. A simple block. Yeah. Just push him off to the right.
Yeah, just go get him. There's nobody else threatening
the ball
him.
at the 40, the 50, maybe, a decent punt or a bad punt. And hypothetically, they could have put up 3, maybe 7, but it's a fight to get, the UM defense was stoic.
It's really good.
So
really
you take
good.
those 7 away at that, when you look at it face value, they have held an Indiana team to 20. Basically, the defense did hold them to 20 because that was a special team score. So you're holding Indiana, who has been kind of
explosive,
running through people and being so precise and surgical, which they were last night. But again, UM's talent, UM's players were shining, but it came down to execution, coaching, focus. And that transfers to any major sport, including baseball. You just make that play where you don't execute that bunt when you got a guy on second and you need to get him over to third with less than 2 outs. And you know, something as simple as bunting costs you the game. And I'm going to give you a better example.
Okay.
And it's a guy that we're going to talk about today, about being possibly kind of one of these fortifying, and trying to complete this roster of the Rays that they're hamstrung, a bit as far as we're noticing it. And it's just, it's obvious that they're not going out there and trying to get, major big boy players, but you might fill in the gap with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And IKF made an egregious, simple, very similar to Alex Bauman's, why didn't I push that guy off to the right? I just kind of chipped him and he just went right by me. By staying close to third base on the grounder to Rojas. 3 feet. If he would have taken a lead of 3 feet, he would have slid in safe. Right? Not even a question. Game over, World Series over. So that is execution. That's poor judgment.
Details.
Poor detail. Honestly, poor coaching by the third base coach.
Right.
Because he's the guy that's going, he's telling him, hey, stay close. We don't want to get doubled up. Because remember what happened?
Oh, Lord.
Remember what happened in game 6?
Yeah,
we got doubled up at second base.
Play conservative.
The hell with that.
Play scared. Lose.
Give me 3 more steps. Third baseman's way off to short because they know that the guy that's hitting is a left-handed hitter and doesn't, hit the ball hard on the ground to the right side, to the left side. Give me a break. So that happened last night. And if you don't fulfill those things, you can think of the Bucks in so many ways that they have, that second half of the season, poor execution, poor coaching, poor motivation, poor focus. That's something IU did not miss out, not only in this game, but pretty much through all the other 15.
Well, where we draw the comparison here is the Rays for a long time were Indiana.
Yes.
Outmanned, less talent.
Indiana.
But on the details, great coaching, great motivation, chip on your shoulder, all those things. That was the Rays way.
Yes.
They'll beat you with, pitching and defense. Indiana's going to beat you with execution. No penalties.
No penalties.
Great
no
special teams.
Right.
No mistakes.
Right.
And that's a winning edge in this day and age.
And
there's really, you could definitely transfer it to baseball and the Rays. And that's part of the magic that has eluded the Rays in the last couple of years. Their team chemistry hasn't been great. They've kind of lost the Rays way.
Yes.
I think to some degree, Kevin Cash reclaimed that last year. The previous year was a disaster in that with Siri and all that shenanigans going on.
A bunch.
I think
you can even go back to Wander.
Absolutely. Things were getting away.
Things were slipping away.
And I think he reclaimed that a little bit last year, but there were too many injuries last year, obviously, were the doom of this team.
Correct.
Having to play in Steinbrenner instead of, a team that's very much made for Tropicana Field.
Total mulligan. You got to go with that.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But the point here is you can win in baseball. And I know it's a little bit more lopsided now with the ridiculous gap in salaries between the have and the have-nots, but you can still be competitive with this. And it's something that the Rays have to get back to. They have to be better at all these details than everybody else because they're outmanned. And I think that's something that, that doesn't take payroll.
Right.
That doesn't take, being in a bigger market or any of that stuff. That's just, you answer that question.
IU is a great example. When you're talking about payroll and the gap in monies,
Well, they had money. They had money.
No, but I'm saying IU can't compare to a Texas.
No.
Can't compare to what monies, LSU is putting out there, even Miami and stuff like that. They were paying some guys and they created a super roster of veterans.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that they're going up against behemoths.
Yeah. And it's coaching.
OSU.
It's coaching and discipline.
And it's coaching and discipline. And the Rays, that is their mantra. It's
how do they get back to that?
You get back to that by health is wealth. I always say it at the beginning of every season, health is wealth. And people don't realize that baseball is affected as much, if not more, than football. And everybody thinks about the injuries in football. The injuries in football are massive. We just had a season with the Bucks that cost them. But I think next man up in football is a closer gap to some degree as far as certain positions where you can fill the gap if you have the right coaching and the right makeup of your roster. Baseball, because of pitching, and if you're having dramatic pitching losses, which they had last year, it's a harder gap to fill. So you saw for a while, for about a 2-month period, people were healthy, and man, they were right there. Yeah. Right. So 21-7. So health is number one, and then getting back that mantra of believability. If you're going into the season this year, the reality is in the AL East, the best division, hands down, in all of baseball, of the 6 divisions, and the most powerful. The Rays are not a fearful team now to the rest of the 4 other teams. I mean, it's Toronto's division with the Yankees and Boston jockeying for 2 and 3, and Baltimore now has come they're going into the season going, we got some guns. Yeah. We got some things. Yeah. We got power. We just added, so much pitching. They're going in hot and heavy and feeling confident. So you have to bring that back and report on February 12th or on February 17th, those 2 dates, because if it's a pitchers and catchers, and then full roster on the 17th, and start with your meetings being, listen, we're going back to the Rays way. We're expecting everybody to be in shape and be healthy. And if we got that, fellas, we're back to our smart baseball, great pitching, great defense, doing the small things. And then all of a sudden you start beating the big boys. You start beating the big boys again, and you're winning the 4-3 games, not losing the 4-3 games.
Right. Where does leadership come with that? In terms of, obviously Cash is going to go out there and say, guys, it's spring training. We're going to get back to the fundamentals.
Right.
Better defensively, better base running.
Yeah, the base running is atrocious.
Better base running, and get back to these little things that we were so good at. But that takes leadership, does it not? And who on this team is going to be that guy that you're going to be accountable to if you're loafing or you're just not focused and you're not playing to that detailed demand.
Right. I think Yandy's got to step up as a team leader. Obviously with Shane McClanahan being out for so long, but he was a voice and he was starting to create a career very similar to the James Shields. David Price kind of mantra of that Joe Madden used so well, because he would lean on these guys to like, hey, talk to the other 12 pitchers and let's go. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, losing Fairbanks kind of hurts in that realm.
Absolutely.
Because he was kind of like not only, a leader, but a presence. So you're going to have to look for guys like Pepio to step up and realize that, okay, it's really my turn now to not only be a workhorse, but, so on the pitching side, a healthy Shane means so much. And I don't mean healthy Shane throwing 200 innings. I just need him to throw about 150 and have it be quality. And then he speaks volumes because he's a presence in the clubhouse. So being away from it as an injured player, you can't do shit.
Yeah, Joe Madden was speaking the other night last week at the Sports Club of Tampa Bay, and we were recounting that 08 team, and he said when we brought in Eric Hinsky, who just won World Series, remember he guy went on a run where he was and every team he was with, he would hop from team to team, but he would bring that clubhouse presence. And then of course Cliff Floyd was, he said that guy changed the entire clubhouse. Correct. And the accountability went through the roof. who's that guy? And maybe he's yet to be put on this roster.
Listen, I hope to think that a Junior Caminero also, and again, these are Latin guys that aren't, articulate in English, so it's harder for them
to be leaders.
We talked about that before, so it's harder for Yandy, but you can still lead by example, right? Getting there early, working out, staying late, and you're going, man, this guy is doing it, and he's working it. He's just not just naturally great, and he goes home in his Ferrari or Lamborghini, like a Carson Beck. So those guys are integral. I still believe that, you have some other players that can step up. Jonathan Aranda can step up and kind of be an impactful guy because
that's a young guy.
He's a young guy. He's not that young.
Yeah,
he's not that young.
Well, in terms of service, he's on
service. But again, once you establish yourself as an all-star, you command
more gravitas.
You command gravitas. Yeah. So believe it or not, the kind of the Cliff Floyd, Eric Hinsey type could be Cedric Mullins.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Could be Cedric Mullins. So Cedric Mullins is as hungry as I believe he's going to come into camp. Here's a guy that's been through the wars, been through really good Baltimore Orioles teams in the past that have gone to the playoffs. That's the guy that I think maybe can come in even as a newbie to the organization, can really pass on, that great mantra, that great attitude. Because they're going to need that. Because otherwise, if they start flailing, they get a couple injuries, which are inevitable. You lose the focus. And man, it was so evident last night with some of the decisions that the coaching staff made for UM, some of the decisions that IU made for their part, and so lack of execution, some penalties, those things in baseball. You don't realize it, but they accumulate, especially in baseball, because what's important, not only making the playoffs, but where you land in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Can you win that division so then you get the bye?
Yeah.
You can rest your players. So all those things come into place when you're playing crappy in April and you're trying to scratch and claw in September because of the crappiness in April. So it is a marathon of a concentration that is like, I'll say like no other sport because every game matters day to day.
162 to be
so
focused.
Many.
You got to be focused every day.
So many.
Yeah, it's that you create a clubhouse presence. It's something that Joe talked about. Guys who really want to be here, keep it fun, keep it light, but very competitive.
And talking about and I welcome any of the thoughts that he had because you were at that. I didn't get a chance to go to that event, but he started it. I mean, he literally started it. Back in 06, 7, 8, and as they went into adding more talent, some of the young talent, the Evan Longorias and the David Price, who was a rookie that they called up and pitched in the playoffs, became stars. He really was able to manipulate them, and I say that in a positive way, to buy in. So they're at that level again. They got to get some of these guys to become stars, but to also buy in to how important the unity and the mantra is. You look at OKC, another example of a team that is so focused and so together. You have one major superstar, right, and a bunch of other role players that are so buying in that I love the fact that when they interview a player after the game, they got their guys behind them, motivating that guy and supporting that guy.
They're a team concept.
They're a team concept that the Rays have had. They need to get back. No doubt about it.
All right. We got some comments. We got lots of comments coming in today. I'm going to start with this one as we can thank our sponsor. Devin Garnett. What's up, Devin? Says, went to Texas Roadhouse last week and it was phenomenal. Thank you, Big O show.
Yeah, listen, what can I say about that? I'm glad you did. There is no my daughter and her boyfriend went in there just the other day and had a great meal and a blast. And he said the excitement of the atmosphere and the service at Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel, TRWC, as I call them, is one of a kind, man. I really, again, for the fact that you're looking to put your dollars at best use, It is wonderful and a great experience, and comfort food at a comfortable price.
Hand cut steaks. Oh, beautifully done.
Tyler does a great job over
And we want to thank kingmakerstampa.com. Go to that website. You can come check out this particular place right here. We're doing this show at Kingmakers. It is home to the JP Peterson show and the Big O show. And you get this production facility. You get a satellite office. We have open office space, private office space, conference room, golf simulator, like high-level golf simulator, little workout area, a sports bar to watch games where we watch some of the college football playoffs. So kingmakerstampa.com, check that out.
Yeah.
And Genesis of Tampa.
The best. Quickly, incredibly paced how they become the Genesis dealership of the Tampa Bay area. And that, I'm sorry, Lakeland, sorry, Clearwater, but you guys are getting beat up like an Indiana Hoosier football team right now. Because you know why? You know why you're getting beat up? Because again, the focus, the execution,
great plan,
the surface,
great execution,
and the coaching. Starting with Mike Murphy and the leader of the Murphy Auto Group.
All right, I'll do a couple of questions here.
Yeah,
towards you. Okay, here we go. This is from Mike H, who says, curious as to Big O take on the ABS system. The Hawkeye camera takes a snapshot at midpoint of the plate, so a pitch could come in as a strike at front of the plate. By the time it's 8.5 inches back, a ball.
Yes. The ABS system is going to be an interesting tool because there's contention as far as, how true the strikes are.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an interesting angle. But
they've been using it in the minors.
They've been using it in the minors now for the last couple of years, right? And they've got good reviews. So, it's the movement of technology that we can't get away from. As much as I'm kind of like new school meets old school from the years that I played in with the 80s and 90s, and none of that was even fathomable. You got into reviews, which was like, man, I was against reviews initially. Then I realized, wait a second, I'm in production at the time, with ESPN and ABC and Fox, and I'm going, we got a shitload of cameras all over the place. Yeah. Why aren't we should review because we want to get it right. So I kind of adhered to that. And then, you move forward into some of the other ones. The catch for some of the finite things gets a little tricky as far as, is it going to take any longer or is it going to help shorter? I don't know. But that was my concern with reviews, but they've done a pretty good job of keeping the pace going strong. It's interesting because I was just on a call yesterday afternoon with the great Joe Girardi on a Zoom call because he's partnered and invested in a company called Sports FX. And Sports FX is coming out with the incredible state-of-the-art mocap, motion capture, where they put the dots. They use it in CGI movies. They use it in sports a lot, especially golf, especially the torque swinging sports of baseball, tennis, golf, etc. There's a new company now out that's going to be changing the whole stratosphere because with your camera phone, you're going to be able to take a picture of your swing, a video of your swing, and it's going to have, usually mocap has around 100 spots at the most that they can fit to be able to see the trajectory. This is 70,000 spots that it just takes a picture of it. The software produces it and it breaks down your swing. Later on, when I get a chance and they're okay with it, we'll show a video of how this breaks down, but it's gonna be state of the art because it truly now really breaks down every aspect of your swing. So think about that from when you're having problems that your front shoulder's opening up, your head is moving. They can finite the data, and then within the system, within the app, they have who's called Winston, which is the Chat GPT,
right? And
they've infused it with.
So they got AI in there.
They have AI coaching. So an amateur kid they're going to have different levels, but I think the max level is going to be like $30 a month. Automatically coaches you, so you can think about what's going to happen with the likes of college coaches, pro coaches, scouts, travel ball teams. it blew my mind as to what the technology is, and this company is in the forefront of what the
you
next
could
level
use
is.
that to help golfers too.
Oh no, their main three initial entries is baseball, softball, golf. Yeah,
Wow,
crazy.
interesting.
Yeah. So I'll get
And now, but back to the ABS system. Obviously, it's 12 to 14 pitches a game. They typically get wrong, based on So, I mean, umpires do a pretty good job, but one or two pitches can change a whole game.
we were just talking about the execution of a game.
You ever have, but plus the weird part is there have been stories of certain umpires holding grudges against certain players and pitchers.
Yeah.
And obviously this removes all prejudice, all bias.
Right.
For that is how prevalent is that? You have any stories that?
Well, you know what's more prevalent? Honestly, yes, of course there's stories. And of course, a couple of things happen. Veteran umpires with veteran pitchers get comfortable, of like, man, if this guy throws this ball on a little bit outside the black so consistently, they get comfortable and they start giving him that call.
Maddox had about 6 inches on both sides.
Maddox and Glavine really kind of exasperated that dramatically. And as long as they hit that spot regularly, which they were majestic at doing, Hall of Fame level. And so that happens, I think, more than the spiteness umpiring. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then here's the other problem, really, that I think is more prevalent, and that is different umpires have different zones. So you have some umpires, for whatever reason, sometimes physical, they're taller, if they're shorter,
right.
they're rounder,
how they position
themselves. So they tend to be, high fastball umpires. They call that a strike. Or this guy's a low ball umpire. So you literally we would go into games knowing so-and-so's behind the plate. Hey, swing the bat, because this guy has a wider zone. And I actually like that about baseball. I kind of found that as the umpiring and the judgment calls of it.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah.
It changes from game to game?
I thought it was a nuance of the game that was kind of part of the you
got to know the umpire scouting report.
The scouting report on the umpire, and so
never
you
thought
would be
of it
up
that
there,
way.
and then somebody come back and goes, man, that ball was outside. I go, dude, it's so and so.
Yeah, and I'm not for taking nuance out of the game.
That's the catch.
Giving it to technology.
That was the transfer for me with like even reviewing, the shift and the thing. It was like crossing the barriers of like, all right, what happened to the nuance of the game?
We're dumbing it down.
What happened to the judgment call, on certain things on a double play and on a play at home?
Yeah, Joe had a big point on that. Joe Madden again, talking about managing today.
Yeah.
But since it's universal DH, all that knowledge that he had to learn about double switches and all, which is a huge part of the game.
Huge.
You don't have to know that anymore.
You don't have to know that anymore.
He said, he's always thought that every manager should do at least 2 years of rookie ball as a manager to learn the game with that 10,000 hours of learning the craft and doing all that stuff. He goes, now you can pluck anybody out of the analytics room and put him in as manager. He goes, in fact, you might see managers wearing headsets soon. I'm like, wow. Oh, Lord.
How about that?
Yeah, and it's true. It's like now we've dumbed down the managing business. So just about anybody can manage now because there's not much to it. You're given a lineup by the analytics guys. You're given a book of moves to make,
according to the analytics.
Shit, anybody can do it now. And it takes the nuance out of the game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good thing.
No, especially when it comes to the gut decision. The Rays are one of the most famous of, Game 6 with Blake Snell, keep him or not keep him in, and the wrong decision was made. You should have kept him in. Because it was the third time around the order, but he was dominating the game. But the metrics and the statistics say that I believe at that year, the regular season, the league hit 274 against some third time around the order.
Yep.
He was dominating the Dodgers. So it was like, but it's 274, on third time around the order.
Not today.
Mookie Betts are going to get no.
Not today.
I'll never forget the when they panned on Mookie on deck and he realized that they were going to take him out. And he looked at David Roberts, at Doc Roberts, and they both smiled. I mean, it was a great, whoever the director was a great shot, because to get the look going, they took him out. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And the game was over. A few hits later, boom, boom, boom. They went ahead, and the game was over.
Series over.
So series over. Really, you're right. If you get to that finite, it goes back to the crossing the plane of gut decisions
and analytics versus
gut decisions.
Field. Yeah.
Tell me last night, 4th and 2, and Mario Cristobal, that's a gut decision
and a bad one.
And it ended up being a bad one.
It goes back to our thoughts about, when you're undermanned, a lot of things matter. And one of them is taking advantage of momentum. Miami started to have some momentum at that point. You got to go for it there. Your identity. If you're as a manager shy away from your identity as a team in baseball or football, Miami's identity is we're the biggest offensive line we can run and maul you.
The trenches.
4th
we're
and
2.
Win
in the trenches.
4th and 2. And my coach said, I don't believe in you guys.
Yeah.
It's a killer. Again,
the fact that they missed the 50-yarder, they don't have a great field goal kicker. Let's put that aside. Even if it just takes the momentum of the belief factor.
You get that 2 yards.
That goes all the way back to what we started the show with, talking about the belief system in sports.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I say, in life.
Believe in what you're doing.
If you don't believe in what you're doing,
you can't be all in.
You can't be all in. If you're in, like, I got my toe in.
Yeah.
Listen,
you're not at your best.
You're not at your best, and you're not going to, focus at 100% because 18% is still back here thinking.
Second guessing.
No, brother. You got to be all in, and it's just the way the game.
Any sport
should be played. Any sport. Yeah.
All right, we got this, and we wanted to get into it anyway. Alejandro says, "Hey boys, let's go, and hopefully we got good news about the Rays Stadium saga. Do you think it's going to happen? And especially since DeSantis is on board, can't wait to see you at the Lightning game tonight, JP." Well,
strong words.
Quick note. I will have a fill-in for my job tonight on Lightning Vision.
Yeah.
Elise Zwick from Fox 13 will be filling in for me today, but I will be doing the post-game radio show, so I won't see you possibly unless you come over to the radio show. But Ron DeSantis came out today. I got some quotes here for you, partner.
Yeah, these are big words.
And full support of the HCC plan that will be voted on this afternoon at 4:00. He says, obviously they got to iron out details, but basically we are supportive of them pursuing that partnership because I think it would be good for them, HCC.
Yeah.
It's now HC, by the way. They're no longer community colleges.
Oh, that's right. It is Hillsborough College.
Right.
Good point, by the way.
I think it could be good for the state, but I definitely think it could be really good for this region, DeSantis said. Of course, he grew up in Dunedin playing baseball, went to Yale, played baseball there.
Pinellas Park area.
Yeah, big time. He said the Tampa Bay Lightning under previous owner Jeff Finnick showed the great organizations can be built with the right ownership. Quote from DeSantis, and I think the new Rays ownership is committed to doing that as opposed to the old Rays ownership. He said the area around Raymond James Stadium, home of the Tampa Bay Bucks, needs some love and rejuvenation.
How about that?
He said, quote, I just want to see the team succeed in Florida, first and foremost, as the governor of the state. I don't want to lose the team to another state because I know there are other parts of Florida that want it too. I mean, Orlando wants it. Disney would love to put it in their Wild World of Sports. Universal could put it close to their parks. You can see a lot of interest there, but I think that this is where the franchise was born and should be, Tampa Bay. So this is huge. And we've talked about this from the very beginning. This particular group was selected because of their political connections. And we said months and months and months ago that Ron DeSantis would be the key to any state properties and getting infrastructure. He said he doesn't want to put money towards it, but this is a place where they get basically get the property for free.
Right.
110 acres.
Yeah.
And they're also going to build, keep HC.
And break down the tax ramifications.
And there's the other part of that. When they lease it back to the county.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be just like Raymond James Stadium. The county owns it. Steinbrenner Field as well. The TSA runs it. So therefore, the property that the stadium sits on is not taxed
Correct.
from property tax. So that gives the new ownership group a lot of tax savings. Now, the other stuff that they're building around it, the condos,
those
the
get
retail, that's
tax.
all property tax.
Comes back to us.
And that will go back to the public in exchange for the public's support of the stadium.
Right.
So it's really a win-win-win for everybody.
Right. Because of the type of land that is available.
Exactly. And
right.
so the state, when Stu was doing his deal, let's just be honest, it's politics, folks.
Yes.
That ownership group was very far left.
Yes.
Anti-DeSantis.
Right.
This ownership group is to the right.
Right.
And they're pro-DeSantis.
Sure.
And this is part of it. And now DeSantis is all in with this group to help make it happen. And I think that's a huge, huge key. That opens a lot of doors, not only at the state level for infrastructure spending, but also free. The property is basically going to be free, which is huge for development. And, then we put in public money to help build the stadium. The whole thing gets done, increases the huge tax base in that area, which right now is getting zero tax base because Hillsborough College sits on it.
Yeah. It's not,
so you get huge return in terms of property tax, CDD taxes, these are all user fees. So if you're a Hillsborough County resident, you don't want anything to do with this, then don't go.
Yeah.
And you won't pay for a penny.
Don't buy a shirt there. Don't buy a hat.
It won't cost you a penny.
Ice cream.
Now, tourist tax that is supposed to go to anything that brings people in. It can't go to police. It can't go to potholes. Can't go to any of that stuff. That's going to go towards this and the Bucks and the Lightning. And then also the sits tax.
Right.
Some similar type thing can only be spent on certain things, stadiums, new development. That part. So basically it all comes together with state. Right. We get this go round, things that are different.
Yeah.
Tampa based. Yeah. Okay. So much more centralized for everybody to go to, better chance of better attendance, state support, which is something that was not part of this deal previously.
Correct.
I think much bigger city support.
Yeah.
Jane Castor has spoken very positively about it. Bob Buckhorn, the most odds-on incoming mayor, spoke very, very positively on it. So these are all different things, different ownership group, different support levels. And that's a big reason there's different support levels, because it is a different ownership group.
Yeah.
And that is a huge key. So anybody that thinks this is business as usual, same part, couldn't be further from the truth.
Nor anybody that thinks that it's, rich owner heavy, welfare, know what I mean? Yeah. Welfare of them. Yeah. No, this thing has a duplicity and multiplicity of just benefiting the whole area while being smart of how you navigate through a private public endeavor, so it's just not, straight out going to give you all the tax benefits and, you make all this money. Again, I've said it before that you have to look at this off season and this coming forth as almost a player signing of, a Shohei Ohtani, if you will, potential for the long term of the betterment of this team being great, hopefully being good in the next few years, but potentially being great for many, many years for us to really enjoy not only the product on the field, but the product around the field. And the field, right? So it's just going to be a win-win in that sense. I am a couple of points intrigued and also impressed with Mayor DeSantis as far as saying, and being knowledgeable as to all the different aspects of this thing. He knows that, Orlando's, is interested. He knows that the Bucks need to even better their own infrastructure. So this isn't like, hey, this is a nice deal, this is going to be good. No, he knows specifically how important this is and how they can maneuver around it using state, and municipalities with this private entity being the Rays' new ownership. And he's supportive of this new Rays ownership. We never heard this before when we got quote unquote close to these other deals, the Ybor deal, the gas plant deal. He was kind of more vague about these things actually coming forth, because I don't think he ever believed that they could come to fruition.
Yeah. Some other, by the way, guys, this is a baseball show, so,
but we go deep.
Bucks questions will not be answered. Save those for the JP Peterson show tomorrow.
I mean, if it ties back to the Rays in some way, shape, or form, just like the IU game last night.
Asking about the special teams coordinator they just hired, Gary Smith. We're not going there.
Well, I'll answer that one specifically. They're not getting the University of Miami special teams head coach, special team coordinator. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Do
not want that guy.
Or the old Bucks guy.
Yeah.
Lonnie Wilkins says, worth noting the Rays are super clearancing. That's on the super clearance rack.
Hello.
The baby blue sunburst jerseys on Fanatics, but not the others. So the sunburst baby blues may be discontinued.
Don't know about that.
I'm not a big uniform guy, but
yeah, I do know.
I hope the sunburst goes away.
I'm going to be down February 7th. I got invited to the Fan Fest for my old team, the Marlins. It'll be down at their stadium February 7th on Saturday, and the guy that called me he sent me a picture of they are going to break out these teal, serious old school, 90s teal with the black Marlins. Yeah. They're going to go only on no sleeves. They aren't doing the old no sleeves.
I love those.
I love those too. It was very comfortable.
With the under.
The reason that I loved them is because in July and August, it was so damn hot, right? that was so comfortable with the no sleeves. No, I don't believe they're going no sleeves, but they're going the old school.
Well, you guys could do Savannah Bananas and go no sleeves, no sleeves,
and show the pipes.
Yeah.
So they could. They got a couple players.
People underestimate, because I've noticed this because I have a wife that loves the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of wives that love the Savannah Bananas. We're talking millions.
It's a huge part of it.
Yes.
The sex appeal.
The sex appeal of those kids.
Those kids running around, ripping their shirts off.
Doing tumbling and jumping and all the dancing.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. I don't see Junior Caminero doing a flip at third base and ripping off his shirt and doing a little bit of this going on.
What is that? Hold on. Solo layout.
Little bit of this.
There.
Yeah, I don't see Junior Caminero doing that on a Sunday near you. But those teal, and with black lettering, he sent me the picture. In fact, I've got it on my phone somewhere.
Nice, right?
Yeah, it's only on Sundays. They're going to do it on home Sunday games, and I think they're going to be huge sellers. I think people are going to love that kind of. So the Rays try to be creative too, and it's part. Listen, it's part of the appeal now. No joke about the Savannah Bananas and what you have to steal a few things from their creative branding and marketing, because baseball needs a little bit of that excitement.
What would you steal?
I would steal maybe some more in-game fun and stuff. Though the Rays have always tried to be cute with Raymond and with my boy the dancer, do some more in the stadium stuff maybe, and
the Rays game production lacks.
Yeah, you need to get a little bit funky on the board and just attract a team, a fan in between innings that you're like, hey, wow, as opposed to just showing them and stuff like that. That's cute. But you got to go to the next levels that these guys are creating some ideas. Maybe it's a pregame, postgame type thing where they create a greater ambience. Hey, come out earlier to the game. We're going to be doing this.
I think Ken Babby will be dipping into a lot of that.
Some of that, some of that ideology is attractive, and people buy into it because social media has created it.
You should maybe go over to Lightning, where we've won the Stanley, which means our best game production in hockey. We could help you out.
Big John created all of that.
Friend zone.
Yeah. The beast.
Lonnie also says, I saw Trisha Whitaker going wild for her Hoosiers. I wish her, and others got to do that with the Rays. Best in the business.
Indiana. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's been going bananas. She went
good
down
for
there.
Trisha.
Yeah.
You saw Mark Cuban at the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big supporter of
he writes the checks.
He writes the checks to make it all go. So
Alejandro Noriega says, hey, which pitcher that's available would you like to grab, since a few weeks before spring training? As a pitcher, how important to have a veteran like Scherzer or Verlander? Who would you pick?
Zach Littell.
Zach Littell.
That's
still
the veteran.
Available?
Yeah, he's still available.
Well, let's go get him.
Yeah, I would go after Zach Littell to solidify that starting rotation, to have a veteran. He had a decent season last year, a little bit of a high ERA, but the batting average against was nice. He's just a guy that, he's an innings eater, veteran, been through the wars here with the Rays, playoff runs. I would, I would not be surprised if that's been being talked about and could be finalized here soon before February 12th. I think he's a key guy that many would be happy to have bring back as a veteran force. That if, again, staying healthy, that just fortifies you. I'm not big on the two future Hall of Famers coming over. I just don't see as those are the guys. It's
not a good fit.
I don't think it's a fit for the Rays.
Prospect,
you need
younger club.
Yeah, you need a guy that already has been here, has had success. Has got tenure in the major leagues. I think Zach Littell fits beautifully.
Perfect. And he was a kind of a clubhouse leader.
He was a clubhouse leader, and I think he just could be that guy.
I think you need it.
You need it.
I think you really
dramatically.
Need it. What would he cost? 12 to 15?
I think he'd be in that range. I think he went 10 games last year. He'd definitely be probably in that 12. Range. It definitely closer to 12.
Yeah.
And but doable. And I think they've held off on that one until they just see how the waters were laying with certain things. Even trying to figure out who they were keeping, who they were trading, and what money's left. So there should be that money left to get somebody like that. Especially, it was finally found out that they were in the mix of trying to get JT Realmuto. I was happy to hear that. Happy to hear that the rumors were that they were, engaged with JT Realmuto. The thing was that JT was just kind of playing the smart game.
Right.
Philly still wants me back, but
Philly's going out there.
Yeah, but Philly really wants to try to get one of the big boys, right? Mm-hmm. Philly was in on obviously keeping Schwarber, but maybe they were really hot about Bo Bichette. If you notice, the moment Bo Bichette signed, boom, JT Realmuto signs. Yeah. So JT played, and his agent played the cards perfectly. In the meantime, the Rays were probably offering him 2 for $25, something like that. And he's like, "Thank you very much, but I'm waiting.
I'm waiting."
And the wait was worth it for him because he ended up getting a 3-year, $45 million. Now, the other guy, again, I mentioned IKF, kind of philosophy. Listen, I like him. I think he's a quality player that could, again, do that veteran guy. He hasn't been through the Rays system, so you're not retreading him like you are Littell. But this guy's been everywhere. He's been positive everywhere. Definitely a great defender and a bigger bat than Taylor Walls.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if something happens and the kid Carson Williams is just not ready, you need a stronger right-handed bat coming out at shortstop. It's just the reality, So I think IKF, and if you think about it, this guy's been with several teams, but you look up, he's always in the playoffs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Funny.
You look up, he's in the playoffs. So you need one of those type of guys. I think that could be a nice pickup. And then the sleeper outfielder, power hitting right-handed outfielder. He wasn't on my list early on, but now that the dust is settling and what's available, and he's still available, is Harrison Bader.
Mm-hmm.
And you were telling me before the show that you think he lives in the area.
Yeah, he lives here in Tampa Bay.
That's attractive.
We've had him over
which
to
makes
Lightning
sense,
games,
because he was with the Phillies for a while.
Yeah.
So probably, with the
31 years old, 31 and a half years old.
Had his best, offensive season as far as home runs, RBIs.
Yep.
Last year. An exceptional outfielder.
17 home runs, 54 RBIs.
Yeah. And a guy that
hit 277.
Never truly been
4.16 WAR.
Yeah, never. Well, his defense is on point.
Yeah,
runs
impressive.
Well.
Yeah,
31. That could be an interesting sign and can shore the gap. Because if not, then the Harrison Bader then ends up being, Ryan Vilade, who doesn't have tenure in the big leagues.
24 doubles, 1 triple, 17 home runs.
Yeah.
So that's 42 solid. Extra base hits.
Well, he's never
RBIs.
been. How many at bats did he have? Did he have 400?
448 at bats. 501 plate.
That was the deal. Yeah. So if you look at his career, nobody's ever just said, hey, we're going to give you 400, 500 at bats.
Right.
So he finally kind of got it last year.
Yeah.
And he proved worthy. So that's a guy that
I mean, when he gets
he's
400 at bats, he's going to hit you,
270,
14 to 17 home runs at 270. I mean, his average was up this year, and he's just becoming a better player, I think, at his age.
At his age, he's learning the league.
In a good lineup, and too.
When
Probably saw a lot of fastballs.
His averages have always been mediocre, but he's never been an everyday player.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you from experience, if you're a decent hitter, decent to good hitter, over 250 hitter, you need the multiple at bats because it's really hard. It's rare the player that can hit over 250 and is playing once a week. It's just a hard thing to pull off at the major league level.
Mike H says, I personally like the nuance of the game and the human element, even if it's not always accurate. I would agree with that. He says, I hope new ownership doesn't have as much influence from analytics and lets Kevin manage.
Well,
they said they're not going to touch baseball ops.
Yeah, so it's status quo, and analytics are a massive part of the Rays operation.
Yep.
So I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah.
I mean, the point there would be quite the contrary. It would be like, get involved and say, do less analytics. You know what I mean? Because the Rays have always trended this way when it comes to analytics, more on the side of use it than not use it. What I like to see the Rays do is just kind of go a little bit more gut at times with their decision making and lineups. Because again, I spent 2024 with my old team, the Lions, and pretty much throughout that whole season, it was a pitching manager on the team, one of my teammates, a Hall of Fame pitcher by the name of Watanabe, and he was so frustrated with the lineups, and they were looking at analytics, and they had a 1-9, and I'm telling you, the ninth hitter could hit fourth. He hit first. He hit seventh. The second hitter hit ninth. And it seemed, and I was sitting there telling them, guys, at some point we got to have a set lineup. Where you have about 6 or 7 guys that every day they come to the ballpark,
they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you have maybe a swing gate of 2, at most 3. But when you're having a complete, today's a lefty and we're going, this way. And the moment that it changes in the 5th inning, we're replaced. There has to be some gut feeling of like, I'm going to go.
This is your base guy.
This is my base guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And base lineup.
Last question. Michael LaRue says, Eric Neander said he would like to upgrade the catching position if he can. What are his options via trade or free agency? Free agency, there's not much left.
There's a bunch of catchers out there that are left, to be honest with you. They're all in their mid-30s and 33, 34, 35, 37.
Jonah
Heim. I like Jonah Heim. I don't know. They haven't seemed to be mentioning him. But they're
Christian
all
Vasquez.
They're all kind of jumped around catchers that, the big boy was JT. And then Cernetti what's the one that just signed? Certini, was it?
Caratini?
Yeah, Caratini.
Yep.
That was probably number 2, of strength as far as a combination of really good defensive catcher with some offense. Other than that, you've kind of got the same thing that they're dealing with right now, So they believe in these 2 very good defensive catchers, the Miami guy, Fortes, and but listen, the future probably lies in Dominic Keegan, and I hope if they're going to go and they're not going to fill that guy, then I feel the same way with that particular kid as I do to Carson Williams. At some point in time, you got to give them extended play in the big leagues and see if they're going to stick it out. But the catching position is even much more dangerous than the shortstop position. Shortstop is so integral because it's the spine of your game, right? So you need catcher, shortstop, center field to be solid on a day-to-day. But catcher, man, so giving that to a rookie that has no time in the big leagues but has a lot of upside in Keegan, I think they're going to give him a real serious look in spring training. So watch Dominic Keegan get a lot of ups and see if he can fit controlling this staff, because again, we started the show talking about focus, the little nuances of
The
any
details,
sport,
the Rays way. We need to
the
get
Rays
back to.
way. Are you putting too much on a rookie catcher for that? Or you rather go with a light hitting but very veteran catching, running a staff catcher? Again, that's where JT Realmuto, and that's why the Phillies said, "Come on back, buddy, because you know our staff like none other, and we need you badly." So.
Yeah, we could definitely use a player like that. But as we said it also at the beginning, this is going to be, I think it's a rebuild. It in terms of, and this is where the group is right now. They have to find the lay of the land. They got to get the stadium deal done. They have to find out what their constants are, and what are we going to be paying for the stadium? What are we going to be paying for this development? What are we going to be paying? How much money are we going to make on our TV deal? We got to redo that. There's so many things out there.
Man.
Is there going to be a salary floor? Is there going to be a salary cap? I mean, it has never been a more volatile time in terms of baseball and trying to predict what revenues are going to be, especially if you're the Rays. It's just not like it used to be, where you collect your $85 million from your RSN. You have your $60 million in revenue share, your $100 million from the central fund, all coming in. And it's just it's all set, ready to go. It's not like that anymore. And the Rays have to rebuild the whole thing. So I would again say
it's funny.
Be patient.
It's funny because you say, pun intended, I think has to be, but you say the rebuild when the HC scenario is such a big part of this.
Yeah.
That's the build.
Yeah.
So it's a rebuild, as far as there's no doubt there's a rebuilding going on with some cornerstones, right?
Right.
Again, Aranda, Caminero, Pepio, decided to keep him now. Shane McClanahan always has been in the mix of that core cornerstones. So you're building around all of that, but then it's also the rebuild of finally, that forever home. I think it's a paramount. So it's all converging together. We have to be patient. But does that mean, JP and everybody, that they can't win?
No.
I do.
Look at Indiana. Back to our original point.
Look at Indiana. Yeah. Dare I say, look at coming back to your home stadium. And I think that the home stadium is going to play an X factor in this thing. They just spent. They were. It wasn't like they were in the desert. They were at a nice facility. And thank you, Yankees. Yada yada yada. But it still wasn't home and not comfortable, and they struggled at times.
Didn't fit the personality of the team.
Personality of the team. They're not a big bopper, opposite field, right-handed power hitting home run. Short right field. Yandy did hit more home runs this year. There's no doubt, and he did hit that stream over there.
Oh yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. But the bottom line is that this is a team that can still win. If you have the healthy pitchers, if you have Shane McClanahan give you 140, 460 innings, possibly, and then all the other trimmings around it with smart baseball, well coached, well, motivated, and don't make the big mistakes. I still think we've done it before. We could do it again. There's no doubt about it in the past. So I do not look into the season as going, well, yeah, we're going to suck. And that's the way it's going to be. On paper, we're fifth in the 5 teams.
Yeah.
It deservedly so. But that gets flipped so quick in the AL East.
Especially, listen, if you get Shane back and you're trotting out Shane, Pepio, and Ryan and Rasmussen.
Rasmussen's
1, 2, 3
on the precipice of being a serious star.
Yeah.
Not just an all-star.
That's as good as you'll find in baseball. Yeah. And that's where that
match up really well.
And that's where everything starts.
That's where
starting pitching and a bullpen is really good. So
and great defense.
Yes. Are we building towards 28 and 29? Absolutely. It's the smart play.
Yeah.
It's the smart play, and we can get behind watching some of these younger players grow up and get ready to explode. And when we get to 28 and 29 and the revenue starts coming in and there's labor piece and the TV network is set up, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. And we all want a microwave society. We all want a $300 million payroll right now and a $3 billion retractable roof stadium right now. New owners, bring it. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way. It's going to take some time.
Yeah.
And we need to, we've done it so wrong for so long here in terms of baseball. We're going to take our time and finally get it right with a group that's well connected, can get the job done, and move us into the big market status that we are and deserve to be, and be a player in this new, whatever this new realignment is, new salary structure, whatever is going to come out of this labor piece, which I think is going to be significant change.
I think,
and
we'll talk about that in another show because it deserves its own show.
Yeah.
Because of the what's already being,
and that sets us up for success long term.
Yeah.
And that's what we want, folks. We don't want
that. All being said, is paramount. But what's also paramount for this season and the next season, and these next couple of 3 seasons leading into all of that, is it's going to be on Kevin Cash's back.
Yeah.
It's not on Eric Neander, really. Other than certain moves and in season and do that, it's Kevin Cash playing Signetti and being able to really laser focus these guys. So and he's capable of doing that. He's a 2-time AL manager of the year. If he does it this year, he's going to win his 3rd manager year. Now, is he capable? He is. So him and his crew are going to have these guys so bought in, stay healthy, and surprise the AL East.
And I'll do one more thing. I'll say it's incumbent upon you, looking at you, Rays fans.
Right.
We got to get behind this group. I've seen not a lot, but I've seen some negativity about, it's the same old, same old. Can we give them the opportunity to show us what they're going to do and give them the time to execute a plan like Indiana did? Let's give these guys the opportunity, and we need to buy in.
Yeah.
We need to buy in as fans. Go to the games, support the team, support these initiatives. Stop bitching and moaning about this, that, and the other until these guys get at least 5 to 7 years in, and we know that they're going to be cheap or they're going to be this or they're going to be that. We have no idea. Okay, let this play out. But we need you to not be on the sidelines letting it play out. We need you to be in.
Yeah.
Buy the tickets, go to the games, support the team, watch the games, if you're in Hillsborough County, go tell your elected commissioners, we want to get this done. I know we haven't seen the deal yet. And if it comes out to be something like in St. Pete, I will be against it.
Right.
But
I don't see it.
Hagan ain't going to let that happen.
No.
This group's not going to ask for that. It's not the way this is going to go.
Ask for that.
No, this is not the way this is going to go.
Yeah.
So
but that's a great point because, and also I'm going to throw out community leaders.
Yes.
Because this takes, no doubt, for lack of cliche, a community, and it feels, and I believe that the Rays are going to reach out way more to the community. So not only we do the individual community, which is so important to come together and believe and support. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I've experienced it both here and in Japan. Sports brings people together so beautifully, all major sports and amateur sports for that matter. That let's be a community. So the community leaders now kind of look at it and go like, and I mean community leaders, I mean businesses and other, civic groups and stuff like that are going to go, we're buying in. What can we do? How can we go to the games? How can we support it? Do you have an event over here at West Tampa? You have an event, in Wesley Chapel. Let's support this thing. It's those increments build and really fire out beautifully. And I've seen it happen. So the Rays need that. There's no doubt about it.
It's not their team, the owners.
That's right.
It's our team.
Yeah.
It's our team. It's our new stadium. It's our Rays.
The benefits of a community in an area.
You own this.
It is massive if done right.
Yeah. But you don't get to sit in the owner's box for free. So you don't own it like that. All right. Good stuff. Thanks.
Real quick, because it is happening tonight. And then since we're doing this live, I'm pushing for Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. The vote will be tonight. I believe it's 6:00. So it's just a few hours away. I'm sure they're chomping at the bit because those are the two that are being, rumored and surveyed from the voters, the writers. to be well over the 75% threshold. Real quickly, both have been glorious players. And if you follow baseball at the major league level, you followed Carlos Beltran. You followed Andrew Jones, two guys that I know well. Beltran, so steady throughout his 20-year career, well over 400 home runs, just a playoff behemoth guy, and the pride, of Puerto Rico. So, I push for Carlos to make it. One of the things that is cool, there's not that many Hispanic players that have actually, been inducted into the Hall of Fame. For Puerto Rico, you have the likes of Roberto Clemente, of course, first Latino Hall of Famer, period. Orlando Cepeda, the great Orlando Cepeda, funny as hell. A friend of mine, Roberto Alomar, another good friend. Pudge Rodriguez, Edgar Martinez, that's Puerto Rico. Dominican Republic obviously has the great Marichal Pedro Martinez. Did I say Pedro twice? Edgar Martinez, I believe. Vladimir Guerrero Sr., Mariano Rivera is from Panama with Rod Carew, David Ortiz, of course. So it's great for me being Latin American. Would be great. And for the small island of Curacao. Viva Curacao. They love yelling that. Viva Curacao. Man, and I've been there. I've actually played an exhibition game there years ago, back in the 90s, and just a beautiful, warm. If you've ever get a chance to vacation to Curacao, I highly recommend it. It's glorious. The people are so welcoming. Andrew Jones would be the first ever Hall of Famer from this small little island that's produced a chock full of great players. So and again, Andrew, a little different than Beltran, where Beltran was pretty much steady throughout his career. Andrew dropped the last 4 or 5. I thought that might hurt him, but his greatness defensively, arguably one of the top 10 center fielders of all time. Yeah, not just in the last 20 years, of all time. Is Andrew Jones. So I'm pushing for them. I'm pulling for them, and I think they'll get that call tonight to join Jeff Kent into the Cooperstown.
Yeah, and our local Hall of Famers, Wade.
Yeah,
and Freddie.
Yeah, my goodness.
Al Lopez. Yeah. Am I forgetting anybody? Oh, Sheffield.
Not yet. Should be, and will be eventually. That's a travesty of the ball.
Yep. All right, partner. Good show.
Yeah, man.
Go a few hours. That vote will go down. I think it's pretty much a rubber stamp vote because it's non-binding. So expect that to happen. But it's another big step.
Yes.
Towards this eventual goal. I'm so excited about this.
Viva los Rays, los Rayos.
Love it.
Listen, tranquil, tropical, baby.
All right. See you next time.